Alright, I think we're good to go. Get the dice box. Wait a minute. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Alright, as you can see, these guys are flying through setup. There's Maul. Not infiltrated. Doesn't look like he divulged. I was sitting up when we went through the game. As you can see on the screen, we have intercept, rollout, clear conditions. Recover and key positions were in the first two slots. They were both banned. As well as advanced positions and major offensive were both banned. It went AP, recover, then major, then KP. So Bobbette banned 2 deployments, and Snider banned the objectives. Dooku strutting. This is what Dooku always be strutting, and that is a strut position. I've played this map, I think, in Invader League. I think Top Cut. I think this is the map that I got knocked out on. It's a weird map. Anyway, let's go through the lists. Let's start with red player, who chose that board edge. Pretty good board edge. Get the lat. And you don't have to deal with this honking thing in the middle of your deployment. So, for Snider, we have Count Dooku, the best anti-Jedi or anti-Force user there is, because he can remove immune pierce. There are other reasons too. His pierce range shot is great, as well as his command cards are fantastic. He's got burst of speed, force choke, force push, and aggressive tactics. We've got battle droids 1, 2, 3 with E5S B1. That's the range 4 critical 1 red white gun. We've got a B1 naked. We've got a B1 with a medical droid. We've got a B1 with an HQ uplink. We've got a BX sniper. We've got 2 Magnas, each with RPS, Tenacity, and Into the Fray. I think that's the preferred build for 10 acties. And then we have Bobbette T-Series Super Tac. Oh, that's a regular tac. Sorry. Regular tactical droid, not super. Very regular. With improvised orders, comms relay, Maul with force choke, force push, tenacity, Into the Fray, classic. We've got some E5SB1 units over here. 1, 2. And then we have 1 worker droid B1 unit, an HQ uplink B1 unit, a medical droid B1 unit, 1 MagnaGuard with RPS and SA, Sith probe droids with comm relay, and then 2 dwarf spider droids with ions, LTA, and attack protocols. So we've gone over the lists. We can see that the DSDs are rolling on out. Can see why Bobbette went for rollout here, because he has, whether or not it's an actual advantage remains to be seen, but obviously he's the only one that can take advantage of rollouts game text, where you can deploy a vehicle within range 1 of your deployment zone. He is rolling on out. Let's see where the deployments are. We've got Maul and his probe droids. We get the spider droid ahead of the gang. That's good because he doesn't want to run them over. We get our T-Series back here. We've got B1s, got the MagnaGuards. Here's the worker droid. There's the medical droids, B21B, sort of looking unit. There are those B1s. And then on the red side, a bunch of B1s. There's Dooku, as I said. Magnas. And yeah, that's the 10X. It's Dooku and some Magnas, and then we get the snipers. behind the lat here. So it seems like Bobbette's list is a bit beefier. It's got 1 extra activation. It has a Magna and DSDs versus 2 Magnas. And the tactical droid. Does Bobbette have... He does not have the... whatever the air support card, whatever it's called. It looks like no divulge on Maul. I don't see the card anywhere, and Maul is not infiltrated outside of his deployment zone, so I'm guessing no. Not sure what the plan was for that. I don't know if it's just because there's nowhere really to hide. I mean, I don't think Maul wants to be close to Dooku or the Magnas. I'm not really sure what his plan is with Maul. I wonder if he'll bring Maul in late. But anything too close and those Magnas are getting in pretty quickly. Looks like we're... I'm not really sure. Oh, he's using this unit to create a range 1 bubble so that he can come out at an angle in the corner. So technical. So nice. So I'm alone right now, but I believe Ghost Walking is going to join me in like 10 minutes. He's recording the Legion 99 podcast. I'm just checking Discord and stuff. Seth Rourke, you think Snider has a strong side to contest center, and I agree. I like this lat. I like this little bar right here. But I think the spiders can go over that. Maul can certainly jump over that. But he does set up closer. But man, Dooku is right in the open. I am quite positive Snider knows what he's doing, but I have seen many a player put a Jedi the farthest out they could possibly be. And sometimes those Jedi die. Cool thing about melee, MagnaGuards though. Guardian Commander. What a keyword. Really into it. That looks like just range 1. Yeah, he's over the line. He's inside the line. It looks like everything's down. I wonder if they're... Neither mouse is moving, so I wonder if they're just kind of getting a water or... Oh yeah, bathroom. BRB. So they're on a bio break. Yeah, these down obelisks are wicked tall. Definitely can hide a model behind there. And I wonder if Bobbette won't spend a couple actions moving over here, round 1, getting his B1s deployed in such a way that they can hide behind this obelisk and are in a key position to fall back to defend the back intercept. I mean, obviously on rollout, probably doesn't have to do a ton of that, but can move up or back at will. I'll be interested to see if Snider takes a more flank approach on the bottom here, going around this rock. There's not a lot of places to hide there. It's pretty small. But I love me a flank, and I don't see a flank from up here happening. Outside of by the snipers. Hug it, baby. So, happy to be bringing you some Invader League Top 4 action. I'm definitely going to be checking the score of the football games for a little bit. Oh, looks like some ended. All right, Washington by 2. Cool. LA by 30. Cool. Looks like the Seahawks just scored somehow. Still 10 minutes left in that game. All right. Clocks are on. Oh, did I miss cards? Haha, sorry. We've got standing orders from Bobbette versus standing orders from Snider. And it looks like Bobbette won the roll. Yeah, Chris, why do you think that? Because he has vehicles. Yeah, that's the long deployment is certainly one that's tougher to deal with. I know Bobbette chose blue. He had the 2-point bid. And let me see. He banned advanced positions in major offensive, leaving long march and rollout less. So rollout was in the third slot. So it was third slot, rollout, long march. So he could guarantee a short edge to short edge deployment. I don't like that the list didn't pop out. I definitely set it up. I spent a lot of time editing the list so that would fit in the stupid 500 characters. It's listed there. I see it. Green list probably not working. So these guys are on the move. They are fast players. That's basically essentially what I talked about. Is Bobbette going to move these droids up? And it looks like he's going to try and hide behind this pillar. And Snider goes with his Magnus first, and he's creating that flank that I mentioned. Did you type it right? You did. I'm looking at the commands. It's set to everyone. All right, let me try one thing while they're moving. I'll put it in a position where you guys can see a lot of the board while I try and fix this. Studio. Studio. Settings. Community. Oh, it's already added. I do not know. The commands should work, and they don't. Tilt. They worked last time. Well, Nothing incredibly exciting going on. A lot of positioning on turn 1 of Intercept. It's really just going to become a question of when and if anyone dives in, but I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with those DSDs. Snider are going to try and fit a lot of stuff behind this tiny rock. Looks like he has it mapped out pretty well, though. No, I'm not wearing a vest. I'm wearing a Patriots hoodie. As one does. Right, I'm going to try one more thing. Add command. Blue. Add command. Red. Zach Berry, type exclamation point red in the chat. See if that worked. Nope, not working. I have no idea why this bot's not working. I'm just going to put these in the YouTube description because I don't want to continue to miss the game. And I'm not sure why it's not working. I can't believe Seattle's going to win this game. Hike. Yeah, this is a tilt. Alright, looks like we are on this droid. Droid's firing at Dooku. This is what we thought might happen. 2 crits, precise 2, 3 crits into Dooku. He's got to roll them all. He takes 2. Where's that medical droid? Did he go yet? Damn silhouettes. Yep, looks like he went. I mean, I don't think Dooku's necessarily in danger of dying right away. But you don't want to lose 33% of your health after your medical droid goes. That's for damn sure. But I called it out at the top. That is a bold spot. We've all seen people do it. Make the Jedi, the Force user, the foremost deployed unit. And I mean, you're looking at 2 range 4 guns that get to deploy range 1 outside of a deployment zone on a short to short. And because it's all crits and these things, they don't have critical, right? He just rolled 3 critical, but they have aims and they have precise 2. I mean, that was a hot roll, and Dooku had a surge. And you got like, can't really fit protector on these things, but I bet you wish you could. Yeah, it's big. It'll be interesting to see what else Dooku does here. Like, I assume he wanted to move him up. All right, we're going to take that same shot. See if he used all the crits up. No, Ion doesn't work on Guardian. We got one more crit coming in. Let me get my co-host. And Dooku saves. So, I guess those average out, right? Like maybe, like if you're taking 4 crits, took 2, he had 1 surge. He's a little on the low end of that, but I mean, for 4 crits and you don't auto surge, he's what, 8 percentage points behind? Oh, I got even the game password. Steelers score with 2 minutes left. Seahawks fumble on the goal line with 4 minutes left. You hate to see it. Preston, what's up, dude? Legion. An entire legion of my... are these the best troops? Are B1s the best troops? All right, we get some Magnas moving up. Ghost walking has entered the room. Wow, 100% of the votes say that B1s are the best troops. What? That is not what Palpatine was talking about when he said an entire legion of my best troops. Absolutely not. All of you fools. What's up, Mike?
How's it going?
It's going crazy. Dooku has 2 wounds.
That is an early shocker.
Well, you know, I mentioned this, and I'm sure you'd agree. A lot of people like putting their force user right up in the corner of the deployment, right in front. You know, obviously he had cover here, but the first spider rolled 4 crits.
As it is
Or
wont to
3.
do, especially with that precise 2.
Yeah, 3 crits, and the second one rolled 1. So he took 2 on the first shot and 0 on the second shot. And as we were talking about earlier in the chat, before we started, these Magnas, probably Dooku, hiding behind this pillar. That's definitely the plan. All right, finally some people agree with me. B1s are not the best troops. That is not who Palpatine was talking about. And also, like we talked about, looks like Bobbette is just going to move the B1s, double move them, to be behind this pillar. Or maybe not. Maybe he's going right into the open. Fisher, Palp had B1s. He traded them in for clones. I don't know if you know this, but Palpatine was the Chancellor Palpatine from the prequels, not just Emperor Palpatine from the OGs. They're the same person. He controlled both armies. Andrew.
You could say he was just playing Legion himself.
He was just playing Legion against himself. What's up, Andrew, my dude? Got the NOLA open this weekend. You pick your list yet, my buddy?
In the same vein, do you have your list ready for PAX?
I do, assuming that Nick printed me out a Yoda.
We were just talking beforehand, and I do think he has it ready for you.
Nice, nice. An entire legion of my 8-act army.
I have 12, so hopefully we don't get paired against each other until the final.
That would be best, yes. Oh, look at these B1s. Trying to roll a crit. No. Sorry, E5S. I'm learning these heavies. But yeah, Andrew, I'm I'm streaming this because nobody else would. And Mike, are you the judge for this game?
I am a judge, so if they have some questions, I'd be more than happy to help.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not the direct one, no.
Is there one assigned? Do you guys assign a judge for the game?
Not particularly. Basically, whatever judge is available is kind of tasked with making sure that everything goes well.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all sorts of time zones, so it's a little bit more difficult to assign that, especially when the weekends roll around.
Mm-hmm. Dooku not rolling off any suppression, but he's got courage 3, so he's chill. And he's just gonna move up.
So as we're playing, looks like we've got some intercept and rollout.
Oh
here.
yeah, I should. You know what? I should use this opportunity to welcome you. Hi, this is Mike Cirillo, Ghost Walking from the Discord, and I guess you just got done recording the Legion 99 podcast, which you are a member of.
I did.
How'd that go?
Bailing a little early. So it went pretty well. We had some Yoda Saber discussion. And
Ooh.
yeah, I've played against Yoda a couple of times now, so I wanted to talk about him and some Wookiees.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to find a Yoda Wookiee list that I like. I hope it's soon.
I know there's like 3 or 4 main ones out there, and it's really difficult to choose.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that there's not enough data in Legion, and we're just like essentially never gonna know what the best Yoda list is because there's just so many decision trees. Yeah, let me take you through turn 0, where Bobbette banned advanced positions, then Snider banned recover. Then Bobbette banned major offensive. Kind of had the dream there with both long deployments going 3rd and 4th, so we could guarantee one. And then Snider banned KP to put us on intercept. Clear conditions was in the first slot, and rollout. So 3rd slot, 1st slot.
I'm a little surprised that Snider went for an a game mode like intercept that allows the higher activation lists an advantage, because KP kind of nullifies that a little bit. Because you can wait until turn 6.
You can wait until turn 6. I think maybe when you consider that intercept can't be taken by the 2 vehicles, it kind of evens out.
That's true.
Then he's up 10-9. But he's not up 10-9 in firepower, just in scoring ability. So
right. And I'm looking down here. It looks like a lot of the B1s for Snider have clustered behind this this rock formation here. Were they all like single move and standby, single move dodges, or did they get a chance to get some shots off?
No, this is Wait, where are you looking? I'm looking at. Sorry, I know.
Sure,
I was looking at the blue finger, and I'm like, wait, what? So no one has shot on Snider's side yet.
Okay.
These guys. Are you talking about the bottom rock? Like if I'm doing Snider's side of the board, they move to this bottom rock.
Yeah, I'm talking about this bottom rock. That would be like 6 o'clock of Dooku based on the way he's facing.
Yes, okay. That's the way I'm looking too. No, he's just like creating a flank here. These guys just moved up, double moved and hid behind the rock. The only shooting has been the ion droids and then that one pot shot from the B1.
Which did force a wound into the Magna. That's pretty huge.
Oh, did maybe I missed one? That first shot wasn't, right? That first shot was
The
just.
first shot was not, but then we actually got a second E5S shot from it looks like this green squad number 3 that did force a crit through on the surge from the red die, and the Magna failed it.
Oh wow. Yeah, you hate to see it.
You do. That's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of situational awareness on the MagnaGuard, so that they can dodge those crits with their retinue.
Yeah, and that's the version Bobbette chose to bring. Just SA. Yeah, so just like a pretty standard game of intercept. It's just been a lot of positioning, but Bobbette has gone on the offensive, forcing 3 wounds. And as we said, he is up a whole act. So those things start to whittle away. And now Dooku separated from the B1 droid. I mean, the medical droid. Sorry, the medical droid's behind this rockway down here. So I think I'm not sure if he regrets going with that first or what, but obviously it doesn't look like. Well, I mean, it's not far from Dooku.
No, and luckily it's not like a trooper model where it's taken off the table. He can heal that wound at any time once it's out there. But I am surprised that he decided to go with that number 6 medical squad before going with something like the number 3 red squad that has the E5S. That feels like a better unit to just kind of move and stand by versus your medic when the opponent has a lot of range 4 on the side of the table.
Yeah, and especially with the way he deployed his Dooku. In a place where he's getting heavy cover, so only crits are going through, and those are the only things that these guys can't guardian. So, all right. So we got Maul on the move. Maul creating another flank. As we spoke about at the top of the show, I don't know if Maul wants to get too close to Dooku. How do you feel about that?
I don't think he really wants to. With Dooku down to 4 wounds, though, I think that changes things a little bit. One of those Magnus seems like it's behind that rock formation for Dooku. So even if Bobbette gets in first, and yes, he's outnumbered with his melee units, he might have the ability to strike first and really neuter Dooku or the Magna before the second one arrives. And by that point, it could be too late.
If you're Bobbette, would you trade your Maul for Dooku? I think I would.
I would.
Yeah.
Especially with the Ion on my side of the table and the activation advantage. Any wounds that the droids are doing with the spiders are just magnified, because the opponent's losing the action. And Snider doesn't seem to have any repair droids, so any Ion that's out there is going to stick.
That's a phenomenal pun, my dude.
I did my best.
Magnified.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I was halfway through the word choice when I realized what I was saying.
You're top notch. All right, I'm ending this poll. You crazy people and your B1s. We'll have more polls. We'll definitely have to have some kind of poll.
That keeps the engagement up.
Yeah, I wanna give some stuff away. I gotta find some stuff. I know I have a painted R2 here somewhere.
That's my toughest thing. Like, we have a podcast and we have all these like giveaways, but finding the giveaways is really difficult.
Yeah, well, luckily I am a Star Wars trivia aficionado, so I believe that we can find some way to give away a painted R2 and 3PO, I think.
I'm pretty good at Legends, but I'll admit my canon knowledge is pretty terrible.
Well, it's tough to read all those comics. I'm just gonna ask questions from Last Shot, and maybe me and the only other person who read Last Shot will know the answers.
I'll have to ask you what that is exactly.
That's the like young Han, young Lando. It actually time jumps between young and old Han and Lando. Novel that came out. It was one of the earlier new canon novels. Autograph paraphernalia of what? So, yeah, I mean, classic intercept. Not a lot to talk about. I mean, I guess we got a little action, but
yeah, let's talk about the command cards real quick, because I think that's where a lot of the really interesting play from this matchup comes in.
Yeah, who do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Bobbette first, because Dooku has the cunning aspect. And that's something that Bobbette really needs to play around, because if Dooku decides, as he seems to have gotten with turn 1, to get kind of aggressive, Bobbette now has to deal with the threat of that relentless, cunning 1-pip Dooku that he doesn't have a way to slow down. Do you think that's going to affect Bobbette's priority with, I shouldn't say a way to slow down, but he doesn't have a way to stop Dooku from going first and making a move. If he wants to do so.
Who's Dooku going to go after?
That's a good question.
Because if you think he's going to chase after Maul, I mean, even you still have Duel of the Fates to like make sure that they can't spend tokens, right?
Right.
So you do have a little bit of defense there. You obviously have to time it right.
And that's kind of what I want to get at. Do you think Bobbette is going to have a little bit of pressure with playing some 1-pips earlier in anticipation of Dooku's own 1-pip? Or does he have enough delay cards with what I would assume is Roger Roger and just standard assault to kind of hold that off? Because I think Bobbette has a couple comms relays to make sure that Maul always has his order.
Yeah, he does. He has what does he have? No, he doesn't have comm. He has only on the DK droids, right? The DRK droids.
He also has it on the T series.
Oh, and the T series, right? Yeah. Well, if we're talking about it, where is that thing? It's still behind the generators. The Magnas are pretty far from Maul. I think we'll know more. I assume that these Magnas are going to double move up to back up Maul.
I would think so.
Bobbette has moved the 2-1 the medical droid up. The EV series medical droid to be closer to Maul. Not quite in range 1, but obviously just 1 move away. So he's advancing the right units. But Maul also comes with 3 1-pips, which is, cunning's really good, but 3 I think I would rather have 3 1-pips.
I think I agree.
I mean,
especially
fear surprise, and
Jump
intimidation is just bonkers. So I get that, but having 3 1-pips just means you almost always get to go first.
That's true. And Bobbette has done a really nice job here of putting 2 non-traversable pieces of terrain between Dooku and Maul.
Yeah.
So there's no way that Dooku's really getting to him quickly. The other thing that's nice about Intercept that I guess Bobbette can take advantage of is if he wants to just throw his spiders forward, if they get shot at and trigger their self-destruct, that's just a win for him because he's not losing any scoring units and he's potentially taking, 2 to 3 wounds per explosion off the table for Snider.
Yeah, and since all those things are there are for the wound, so he, if they're going to die, I think this is the perfect matchup, the perfect objective to blow the self-destruct on those.
Yep. So that's going to be a fun little dynamic for Snider is does he actually shoot the droids that are definitely going to be costing him activations, knowing that once he does shoot them, they're just going to harm him in the process.
Yeah, that's why DSDs are so good, because if you don't shoot them and they're in your face, they're just going to continue to roll 6 dice with precise 2. With the attack protocols, meaning that they'll always have an aim once they're in a good position.
Right.
So.
And Bobbette also has the LTA on both of the spiders, so anytime they do get their order, they're looking at potentially 2 aims.
Right, but if he moves them up outside of range, he basically has enough order control to leave them as the only 2 things in the bag.
Right.
So snipers come up and take a shot at these B1s, so going to remove a model. Just a regular old B1. Nothing special about it at all. But we have our first model off the table, which is always exciting.
We do, and we actually had a dodge shot there. One of the downsides of our Clone Wars faction snipers is they can be dodged because they don't have that high velocity keyword.
That is true. Was that an open shot?
It was. So they were in that light cover piece of Felucia terrain here. This is not Felucia. That light cover.
God, imagine calling this planet by the wrong name. Umbara.
It's almost like I wrote the words that we put out when we announced it, and I still couldn't get it. It's embarrassing.
You hate to see it.
I do. But we've got some of this fungus here, the native trees. With that sharpshooter one, it was reduced to an open shot.
All right, that's the end of turn 1. So we get a scoring turn coming up. The scoring turn is brought to you by Legion 99 Podcast, the only podcast with Mike Cirillo.
Yeah, that is true.
Look at that. That's a big market copy right there.
Got a lot of star power pulling there.
Oh yeah.
Mike's with Legion content. Yeah.
I mean, Mike's on Earth. We're leading the field.
We've got a little bio break here, so we've got some time to talk about what command cards we think are going to come out for turn 2.
Bio break. Yeah. All right. So what's going to happen is, all right, I don't see a good way for Dooku to get around this rock. And Like if he bursts of speed, he's gonna be too far ahead of everyone. I feel like Dooku wants to last here, don't you?
I tend to agree. I'm kind of thinking like you're going to see standing orders from Snider again.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think you probably are going to see the same thing for Bobbette here.
Do you
I'm
think
not.
when Dooku engages, he's going to go in with you? Do you think like his plan is to maybe like whittle an activation off and go in with you disappoint me?
I'm not sure because at this point he doesn't really have the range to get that speed to move to get Dooku into melee to begin with. So unless Bobbette decides to get a little aggressive with one of his trooper units, there's no way for Dooku to safely engage himself from that.
Well, he has burst, right?
He does, but he doesn't have relentless on that, so it's going to be a single speed 3 move and then a
Oh,
single
okay.
speed 2 move.
Well, even if it's not this turn, I think blast off versus explosions in the chat strong. I do like that as like if he can get an activation off at some point, going with you disappoint me will be interesting. All right, let's see if what do you think from Bobbette here?
I'm going standing orders ×2 for both players.
All right. It's just going to be a standing orders battle.
Yeah, and there's the one from Bobbette. Oh, I guess you disappoint me turn 2. I
Interesting.
think that's a little too soon.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, like you know, as I said, I think the key would be to get a unit off the table, get an activation off the table, and use that last is what I wanted to see. I don't know. He might be feeling the pressure from Dooku taking damage. He might not have expected standing orders out of Bobbette. I'm not sure.
We shall see. I do think that what you're mentioning with the play to get into melee, if you can kind of take an activation down and then you disappoint me at the end to go into like a 1-pip next turn when you have force push active is a really good play.
Yeah, exactly.
But unless the opponent makes a mistake, I just don't see him getting that range here.
Yeah,
because if he engages the spider, he can still get shot at, and it's not a trooper, so he's not able to do the speed 2 move on it.
He can't move the vehicle, right? Maybe he just really wanted the dodges, the extra dodges, because there's that. It's when he issues an order to a unit, that unit gets a dodge token. So you're looking at the Magnas with multiple dodges here. Dooku gets a dodge. It looks like he ordered. When Count Dooku issues an order, because it looks like the BXs have a droid. Oh, this is a retinue dodge. Got it.
Yeah, and this is, I think all he did here was order Dooku the 2 Magna and then popped his HQ uplink on the B1s and ended on the BX.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out where all the dodges were. But yeah, it could have just been a dodge up turn.
Though it actually looks like he ordered the BX for one of the one of the orders because it does have that dodge. So
yeah,
he probably
to give the BX a dodge. I think that's a good play. He is in. Is this a E5S unit? I'm trying to see. Like he might want to advance.
Yeah, and actually he does. It looks like he has an open shot on the MagnaGuard with that BX sniper. He was doing some pinging down in the southern corner for Bobbette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't mind it as a dodge up card. I think it's too strong against Maul to pull him out into the open to blow as a dodge. Like I was gonna say right before they revealed that, like I could see Roger as a dodge card if he's like trying to move everyone up. I think that might be a late game play as well. Especially they might want the dodges on the turn they have to move into the center. But no, it looks like he's just shooting at the B1s again.
And chat actually made a good point here. It looks like Strolly and Zach Barry saying that 3-pip could also be a you're not scoring this turn.
Right.
He's now got, essentially 2 sources of force push to push Bobbette's units off that intercept point.
Is that worth 1 point though? 1 VP?
Potentially. When you're down in activation and know you need to take a little bit of an advantage, I think it very well could be. Looks like Bobbette just has that MagnaGuard leader here with the spider. An ion token on this MagnaGuard here would be devastating.
I mean, it's gonna.
And even with 2 dodges right now, he's gonna at least roll 1 die.
Mm-hmm. Because they have impact 2. He rolled a crit. Impact is
Yep.
after cover. So yeah, he's going to go for it. All right. Uses both aims. So 2 dodges, and we'll see a roll. And this is for the ions. This is when you wish Dooku had Force Barrier. And they have a surge from Aggressive Tactics. So they good.
Now, does Snider go with them early to prevent the other spider from doing the exact same thing?
Yeah,
Because now that spider's going to have 2 aims, and that Magna is out of dodges.
where do you send him?
I think you can move up a little bit to the right side of the pillar here, because those 3 Magna on the right side of the cluster are definitely out of line of sight, and it's only the leader that is currently visible.
And then do you RPS the spider? Do you try and take a shot on?
I think he might take another dodge, quite honestly, in case Bobbette's able to finesse a line of sight shot with his B1s at the top.
Just dodge up and make sure you get the point and don't really worry about attacking.
I think that's a potential. I'm not sure that the single RPS is going to be able to shoot anything without exposing itself.
Yeah, he did a good job of hiding Maul. Yeah, he's got to get that leader somewhere safe.
Looks like he was measuring some ranges before, and this is a pretty important decision here.
Mm-hmm.
Bobbette really feels like he has a control of the pace of the game at the moment. And not that he's, in a huge advantageous position, but he is dictating when his units are going compared to Snider's at this point.
Right.
And with the rally dice being thrown there, we do have a committed move with the MagnaGuard.
Yeah, it looks like trying to hide the leader here.
This is also where it gets kind of interesting for Bobbette, because he could potentially go with Maul early, move, force push the Magna out into the open, and then just duck back behind the rock again.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine Bobbette would be very happy to trade scoring turn 1 to, neuter this MagnaGuard squad.
100%. That is like the prototypical example of what I was getting at when I said, is it worth the 1 point,
Mm-hmm. And I just realized that this Maul has Force Choke. Mm-hmm. So if he decides to do that, like, one of those models is dying, because he does have the wound on there.
Yep.
Takes a standby instead. It's a good play. Potentially. I'm now looking at their heads, and I don't think they'd have any chance to even see Maul.
Yeah, I really think if he wanted to protect against being force pushed, he needed to kick one out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that should have been a dodge.
Yeah, or like a little bit different cohesion.
Agreed. By the way, do you have a delay on your stream?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No one said anything.
I have it up on the other monitor, and I wasn't sure if it was just something you did standard. So if I'm watching you on the other side to make sure I'm not
if you're
talking in the past.
Oh, are you watching the stream and not the game that we're in TTS?
I have the game on TTS on one monitor and the stream so I can view chat on the other.
Gotcha. Yeah, there might be a delay.
Doesn't seem like it's very long.
Okay.
But I definitely make a fool of myself otherwise. Bobbette probably just delays here, right? At this point, takes some hot shots with his B1s.
If he's not scoring, there's not much else to do other than position and shoot with those range 4 shots.
Now, does he have observe range to those MagnaGuards? Yes, he does. That's going to be huge for that second Ion Spider. If he does decide to force push the Magna into the open, he's going to have 7 rerolls on that blue Spider.
Man, they could just barely see. That's a good play. That's sneaky, going all the way up there.
Could also use it for some crit fishing with his B1s over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they can actually get line of sight into the one Magna though.
Yeah, I don't know that they see it anymore.
I'm looking from this I guess the other stone pillar, and it looks like they're a little too short.
Yeah, I don't really see any way Bobbette can score on the center without just like moving his B1s up, double move.
And that seems like a huge mistake.
Yeah,
He just gives
exactly. I don't.
Dooku a safety net.
Yeah, there's no way. Yes, we'll just have to be in for the posturing here.
For exciting Legion.
Yeah, very exciting. Did you play any Legion this weekend?
I actually got a chance to play like an hour and a half of a game yesterday,
Oh, sweet.
which was exciting.
What'd you play?
I played my PAX list,
Mm,
so I needed to actually get a rep with it.
nice.
I've played all of the units in it, but never in that combination. But they're droids, so they kind of just go together.
For sure. Do you know when Bobbette is doing his ladder game? Have you talked to him at all?
He's kind of mentioned it, but I don't know if he said it publicly, so
Oh, okay.
don't really want to say.
Sure. I'm only
Yeah.
curious because I play the winner of him and who kicked my dog.
Oh, sure. So it actually has some meaning to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious when I might schedule it around PAX. I'm not, looking for any dirty information or anything.
No, sure. I do think it's coming up in the next day or so.
Well, I
so
know he
I'd
has
imagine
this
it
game
plays soon.
today, and then he's playing his first or third place game tomorrow, right? No matter what, I think, for Invader League.
Yeah, let's check the schedule. I think that is correct.
So I just knew he had a bunch coming up. This is a wildly aggressive play with these Magnas.
It is. It looks like he's going to try and cohere out of the spider there, so he would have to rotate. And that gun looks like it is down, so I do think they're pretty safe here.
Do you think he's trying to get them into the back lines?
I think he's trying to give a flank and force a decision on Bobbette's side here. Because next turn, I'd imagine they're going to kind of like sneak behind the stone pillar to get to the back line.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, that's still going to rely on a little bit of an opponent's misplay to get into melee. Unless he's going to try to use their guns to just whittle down the backline numbers. I would be surprised if that sticks. What did you end up playing for Ladder League? And there's a couple ideas you were kicking around.
I ended up going with Yoda Saber Tank, Padme.
I'm shocked.
And I won my first game. It was a little sloppy, but we got there. We take those. And I learned a lot, and the list is sweet. Yoda's awesome, and I'm hyped to play Yoda this weekend at PAX.
You traveling down Friday night, I'm assuming, staying in a hotel?
Yeah, I'm staying in a hotel. I am... Oh, man, we got naked bots in the chat. Why won't it let me delete it? Oh, well. People can deal, I guess.
It's an 18+ stream.
Adults only. I'm probably taking a half day. And then leaving around 10:30, so probably getting in around 5 p.m. Or no, like 3:30, 4 p.m., depending on traffic.
That's not too bad.
No,
You'll actually be in before I will.
Oh, really?
And I live locally. Yeah. I don't get out of work until 7 at night, so my brother lives in the city proper, so I'm going to go stay with him for the evening.
Nice. Yeah, I want to get there early. I hate New York City traffic. Looks like a legit.
Kind of could have just stopped it. I hate New York City, but
click on it, Seth. Let me know how it goes for you, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. I like going to New York City. I just don't like driving through it.
It's like this is the medic squad here, so I'd imagine Pico here is one of the non-essential B1s forward to take the wound off.
He's coming to heal Dooku. He's probably going to try and hide that the medical droid, right? He doesn't want to accidentally lose it.
No, he's probably going to put it just behind this little lat like he's doing now. Yeah, there he is. He's going to put it behind the wing, put a couple guys around him, and then that way there's no way he'll be able to get the silhouette without seeing the others.
Mm-hmm.
I've never actually played the droid medic before on TTS, and I didn't realize it's just a reskin of the Rebel one. That is funny.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering this when I was looking for it. I was like, "Oh, what does it look like?" And it just looks like the droid from Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. So the space between these two units, obviously, not ending up being that big of a deal. He closes the gap. Snider's going to get his money worth on the medical droid.
For sure.
Yeah, see,
I think Bobbette's going to feel. Go ahead.
No, I was going to make a comment about the art. So you talk strategically.
No, I was going to say, I feel like that's a good move, though, for Bobbette's point of view. Getting that medic charge out early feels like a win because then he doesn't have to game plan for it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that if Dooku has 4 wounds left, he's got those actual 4 wounds.
Right. I was going to say an EV droid is like the one that tortured droids in Return of the Jedi, and then this model is not an EV droid. It's a 1B series medical droid.
It looks like it's kind of like a 2-1BX, though. It's got red eyes. That looks like a sneer.
Oh yeah, evil.
That doesn't
evil
look.
2-1B.
That doesn't look very inviting.
No, modeling is hard, you know. Yeah, we know. We're not being critical. We're just having fun. Hey, talking about stuff during boring Legion games is hard, Fisher.
Especially when you know you got 3 more hours to go.
Jesus. All right, strap in.
Someone pour the whiskey.
I am going to. I polished off my special edition House Stark whiskey. I need to bust something else out.
Yeah, I just ran out of my Japanese whiskey like an hour ago, so I gotta find something later.
You know, I think I got too wasted to post my drinks on Saturday night, but I went to a bourbon bar that had 400 different kinds of bourbons, and I got a really nice Vieux and a really nice Sazerac made for me.
Yeah, I don't think you showed me that, so
yeah, I'll have to send you some pictures.
Probably had too many drinks.
I was shit-faced.
I had that issue Friday, and then I realized I had to go to work on Saturday, so I had to cut that night a little short.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right, so Bobbette is going to move forward here and shoot towards these Magnas on the north side. I didn't see the range band go out, so I'm assuming he's just eyeballing it that it's outside of range 2 here. It does look like it, but that's a kind of a ballsy call. I think he's going to use his own Magna down south to try to take an RPS shot into them as well. Just trying to strip the dodge at this point.
What range 2 band are you talking about? You mean for Dooku? Like,
I'm sorry. I don't think Bobbette managed or measured the actual range 2 band from his droid unit number 3 that he's moving into the yellow Magna up north.
Why range 2 though?
For charge.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. You're talking about the counter charge. Got it.
Sure. Yeah, for the next turn, because if Bobbette lets these Magna up north get into the lines, he's going to be in a world of trouble. Because all of his linebackers and his actual melee units are down to his south, towards the blue edge of the board.
Oh no.
So a Magna on the far side. He did go through the table.
They found it. Oh, he just revealed all his command cards. No, the hidden cards.
I was curious if he had Roger. Now I know.
I mean, the cards are public.
The
list
too much
chat
effort to go to the table.
Yeah, the list chat won't load. Like, I have the list. I did 2 different commands. They're not loading in the chat, so it's a bummer. I put them in the description. Yeah, so it looks like we're getting a heavy cover shot. They can see 1 unit.
Got a dodge as well, but no SA on the Magna means he's going to have to roll.
He's got 1 surge. Blocked. Red dice, am I right?
They are a fickle mistress.
Yeah, that band was so quick, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, they are outside of range 2 by a significant margin.
Okay. Zach's trolling. He knows my commands don't work. He's trying to tilt me. I got tilted before you came, trying to figure out why the commands aren't working. They're there, and I hadn't changed anything since last month, since when I did Orcs game.
Do you not have like a Nightbot or anything on YouTube?
I do. I have Cloudbot. Broken.
Star, at the moment there is no score. But if things were to end at this moment, it would be 2-1 for Snider. That is correct.
It's looking more and more like it'll be 2-1 at the end of this turn.
I would be shocked if it was not that.
And that's why commenting on Legion can be boring. It's like,
Because you know it's going to happen an hour and 15 minutes before it does.
yep. And it's 3.5 hours of filling the time, and then like 30 minutes combined of dice rolls and interesting decision making.
Let's talk about interesting decision making, because I think one thing that could potentially happen here for Bobbette to tie the middle is if he's able to hold his Maul and his DSD in the middle here until the very end, because Snider did go first and he's down in activation. If Dooku's not in a position to immediately counter a Maul movement, he could actually get those Magna outside of range 1 of the center band and score Maul and just tie Dooku, while decimating the Magna via Force Choke, potentially a melee attack, and the DSD itself.
I'll say this: I want to see it.
I do too. Let's roll some dice. We've seen like 6 dice rolled so far, so we could get some more.
The NBA, where it's just like an hour and a half of nothing, and then 45 minutes of 30 seconds of basketball. All right, we get the B1s moving up.
Just watching a Jets game.
Man, what happened
3
to
hours
the Jets
to know
today?
they blow it. Oh, they suck.
You told me the Eagles were so bad. I picked the Jets today, and I only have 2 games wrong all day, and that's one of them.
Okay, so I said that they were bad. And let's be real, there's a difference between the Giants and the Jets.
I guess so. All right, we get a shot. 2 crits.
I think 3 with the E5S.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
That's a pretty big roll there. Bobbette losing 4 wounds is going to be huge. So it does look like he exposed them to a light cover shot, so I'd imagine Bobbette just returns the favor here.
Yeah, it's going to be trading.
That's also not a great position for those B1s to be in, because I think Bobbette's unactivated Spider can see 3 to 4 of them. So if he decides not to get aggressive with Maul and leave the Magna where they're at, the Spider could just take an aim shot into those droids at the top, potentially just decimate them.
Yeah, one of the good things about waiting with the Spider droids is that he can see how this pot shot goes and any other pot shot that he decides to take before having to make that decision. I promise we will not talk about balance.
I don't know what that is, so it's going to be difficult to talk about.
Like meta balance, like are the factions balanced? What is, did Gar get
I was being sarcastic.
Oh. Sorry, my sarcasm detector is turned off. It was all the whiskey this weekend.
Oh, what a save.
What a save. Only taking 1.
Yeah, Zach, they did look good with Minshew today, but once again, their opponent was the Jets.
So. Minshew mania, baby.
I could have played quarterback today.
You should just let Dallas Goedert do everything.
Right, just call me Uncle Mike instead of Uncle Rico. Get it done.
Yeah, throw this ball over them their mountains. All right, what do we have left?
We have
3 for Snider. We have 3 B1s and Dooku. Right.
And for Bobbette, we have Magna, a B1, and Maul,
and the Spider.
Spider.
Yep. Is he gonna speed 3 lightning those guys? I don't think so, because he can't jump over this pillar. He has to go around it. It's so bad.
I'm also not 100% sure, because I can't measure that he even needs a speed 3 here. He might just be able to walk up and get that range too, like from the far side of the pillar.
I know. I hate that we can't draw lines and the grid's off. But if he got to the edge of the pillar, I mean, he's so exposed. He would have to go with a 1-pip.
Right, and then Maul is 100% going to play Duel of the Fates to get that dodge out there for him. Which is potentially devastating for Dooku, because he could either lock him up or just go for the Magna once Dooku does dive, because now Maul is not exactly a great target.
But does Dooku go? Do you think Dooku goes right, or do you think he goes left?
As of right now, I think Dooku is going to go to his left. I think he's going to go to the short side of the pillar and force lightning those blue droids or the number 3 droids that have now been decimated.
Yeah, but that's so far away from Maul.
It is. Snyder might be happy about that if he can make it 9-9. We
Right.
shall see.
I'm saying like, I think Dooku doesn't even have to worry about Maul. Maul, like whatever Maul wants to do next turn.
Oh, got it, got it. I was kind of going from the opposite side there of if Dooku goes up to that side, I think Maul plays a very safe Duel of the Fates, knowing that if Dooku does charge him, he's got his protection, and if he doesn't, he's got the dodge to get into the other Magna.
Gotcha.
We'll see. If Dooku does go to his left towards the short side of the pillar, though, he's essentially sacrificing the purple Magna on the south side. So I'm not sure if he's going to be comfortable trading a B1 for, 3/4 of a Magna squad.
Yeah, and he's gonna have Bobbette's gonna have 2 activations after Snyder's last activation.
Right.
Which is really tough. I mean, and again, like if you, I think the standby is fine if you cohere for it, but I don't think that standby gets triggered.
If that standby gets triggered, I think Bobbette has made a huge mistake.
Yeah, like there's no way that he can't move Maul to a place where he can't be seen, force push those guys to the other side, if he wanted.
Right. That's another good question. If Dooku goes left, does he even get shot by the spider, or does the spider prioritize ioning the Magna? Because Dooku does have a dodge and a surge, so the likelihood of getting a wound through is not very high,
Right,
especially with the heavy cover.
If he can force push out the Magnas potentially and set up an ion shot, he could take out. He could definitely get 3 to 4 wounds on there.
Definitely.
All right, we see 1 more wound on that light blue B1 squad.
Looks like that's Bobbette's own medic squad.
Yep. That is down to just the leader, the medic, and 1 other B1.
It's actually been a pretty bloody turn for Bobbette.
Yeah.
He dutifully retreats them now.
Yeah. Well, Fisher, what we're saying is that if he might be baiting the spider droid, he might want the spider droid to shoot Dooku over the Magnus. So if he moves left and gives that spider droid an open shot and it has like 2 aims into Dooku's dodge surge deflect, I think he's okay with that.
And Zach makes a good point as well. He does have the observed tokens on the Magna, so I think he's going to lean towards that way because he has spent some activations this turn to make sure that he gets the hits through.
Right, but all the more reason for Dooku to not only make that move but also be bait. Like if he takes the shot without those observation tokens and on a unit that can't be ioned, I think he's very happy. And I think like some of these aggressive plays here, like if he's moving this B1 unit up, it looks like he's not going to get in range.
That looks just short.
Yeah.
But he's going to get the E5S shot.
He's going to get the E5S shot, but I think like a lot of these might be bait to take attention away from the Magna. Yeah, I mean, Bobbette is getting thinned out. He's either taking unnecessary wounds or his plan is to use his wound advantage to move into position for turn 4.
He does have to be very careful about what he does with his own Magna, though, because now all of a sudden Snyder's orange Magna, that squad up top from the blue perspective, is in a much more threatening position because there's really not as many bodies to the center of the board on the home point.
Yeah.
Now that green squad has lost, 5? Or has lost 4.
Right, and if the orange Magnas are outflanking the spider droids, you really don't want to be on the short end of like the Magna war.
Right. That's especially with the lack of Pierce that both of these droid armies have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the Magna dice decide just to be even average, it's going to be really, really difficult to chew through them with the retinue dodge and the surge from aggressive tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these players seem like they're playing fairly quickly, so I don't think clocks are going to come into play here.
Oh yeah, they did the first turn in like 7 minutes each.
Like there's a question about what this ordered token is. I think that's the number 3 squad for Snider. The ones with the silhouettes up. Should be his last activation before Dooku has to go.
He's got 2 with silhouettes up.
Yes, he does. I'm referring to
Number 3 though, the one behind the lat, the tail end of the lat.
oh, can they reverse?
Can I back up teal DSD? You might want to jump in there.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Their voice, it's in TLD. I'm going to take this time to type an email to one of my students. I wonder what they're talking about.
All right, I'm back.
So what was the deal?
So the question was, can the number 1 teal DSD back up like the millimeter, or can it go further back past number 10? Because they are 2 ground vehicles, so they can't move through each other. And I do think their bases would overlap. So I'm going to say they cannot back up across each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you take a look, I kind of pinged before, but if you zoom in from top down over the number 1 and number 10, so that the number 1 is at like 6 o'clock, I
Yeah.
think the base just at the start of the native tree terrain is to the left of the right border of number 10. So I do think they hit.
Yeah. Those spider droids are finicky.
They're kind of clunky. That's why I think 2 is the right number.
Oh, did he just stand by with it?
He did. That's surprising.
Is it because he had to AI aim? No, it had an order token. It didn't even have to AI. He didn't want to rotate fire at these orange guys. I thought that's what he was going to do. Why do you think he was trying to back it up?
I'm not quite sure. He didn't say. If he's trying to back it up, I'd imagine it's just so that he can get out of range 2 of Dooku. But he could also have been trying to finesse a better angle to shoot at the purple magna if he decides to force push them into the open, kind of like around the south side of the pillar from his perspective. That's my best guess. I'm a little surprised by this standby play though.
That leads me to believe that he is going to make them all push play.
It does. It also leads me to believe he's a little bit more worried about Dooku coming around the side here than we may have initially thought. And this would very much be a speed 1 move unless he's going to burst of speed to get the speed 2. If he wants to go over this pillar.
That must be what he's doing, right?
I think so.
Is it climbable if it's just medium height?
As long as it's shorter than he is, he can move over it, being difficult terrain and reduce his speed by 1.
Okay.
So he can go over it on the short side. So if he does burst of speed to make his speed 3, it would just drop to 2 to go over it.
That seems wild to take an immobilize next turn for that.
Doesn't it? Did I miss anything good while I was gone?
No, I was typing an email to a student. Big presentations this week. They all have questions Sunday night, of course. All right, so Dooku popping his burst of speed to climb over the obelisk. And, I mean, is that range 2? Probably.
All right, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian line of sight. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of using your burst of speed first in a force user mirror. I guess Maul doesn't even have it, so it's not really using it first. But it's as much a tool to get in as it is to get out. Although I guess Dooku never really needs to run away from Maul. It just seems really aggressive to use it on the non-relentless turn. Or even just like the you disappoint me turn. He's going to be able to, I guess if he shoots these guys, he's going to be able to move them out into the open. Yeah, man, you disappoint me. All Dooku's cards are so freaking good, and to use one for not its full effect seems tough. But Snider's very good, much better than me, has experience with the list. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, so he does pop burst of speed, and he's going to double move. Interesting.
Yeah, so it looks like he just used it, you disappoint me for the dodges.
And the question was, for Guardian, does the unit being Guardian need line of sight, or does the unit that has Guardian need line of sight? And the answer is the unit that has Guardian needs line of sight.
Makes sense.
But based on what move we're going to see here, I'm not even sure that matters.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to move in and force push some droids into him and start.
And Bobbette has chosen not to pop this standby here, so I think it's pretty clear what he's going to do with these purple Magna.
Yeah, and Maul.
Yeah. I think this is dangerous because Snider's potentially burning burst of speed, one of Dooku's dodge cards, and giving away scoring the middle point. Unless he decides to double move the B1s forward, his number 3.
I'd like to see him pop the range band on the middle objective to see if he can, force push the unit leader into Dooku, but in a way that it isn't scoring.
Right,
where
and that
Dooku
seems
is
like
scoring.
It's going to be really close.
Mm-hmm. Very.
I think he will be able to, because speed 3 is longer than range 1, and Dooku is essentially pretty close to that middle point from his starting position. So he's very clearly going beyond range 1 of it. So he could probably put like his backside of the base there and just force push the leader to his front side.
Right. He wants every piece of cake here. He wants to be in Guardian range. He wants to be scoring. No, Chris.
And he wants to be killing.
Yeah. Well, he's chosen to make a move where he doesn't attack, so I don't even think he wants that.
True.
I think he just wants the other guy not to score. Chris, he looked like the spider droid declined to pop the standby.
We're assuming that he's holding it for the purple Magna that are behind the box at this point, or behind the stone pillar that Maul can force push into the open. They have 3 observation tokens, so he's probably going to shoot them.
Yes, Wags. Force push is the best upgrade in the game. It's not close. Like if we're not counting heavies as upgrades, then yeah. He could move Zaxing. He could move Force Push the Magnets out, stand by the DSD into scoring. DSD can't score,
Yeah,
and
they
Maul
can't
into
score
scoring.
intercept.
I also have those Magnets stranded in general. Would ruin Snider's plan of scoring here.
I do think he can ruin Snider's plan of scoring here, but I don't think he'll get any points himself.
That's a win.
Seems like it.
I mean, if we went into this turn saying, I'm playing you disappoint me so that you can't score, and then you prevent them from scoring, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a win as long as he's not trading down here. And he's very much trading most of a B1 squad here for the chance to really gut this MagnaGuard squad. So as long as they don't save out of the DSD shot that's to come, feels like a pretty solid move.
Still moving fast, but Snider is eating a lot of clock. He's now 15 minutes behind Bobbette.
He's got 49 minutes to go.
It's a harsh round down for 55 seconds.
This is Legion. We're not precise here. What?
Well, those ion droids are. Oh!
Yes, they are.
They're too precise. Man, I'm on fire tonight. All right. Out of Guardian range. Out of score.
It feels like a very interesting judge call question at this point.
Out of scoring range, at this, like from where he is right now. Do you think he's in the I immediately regret this decision mode?
I think he's close. I think he may have mismeasured how far he can go with the second speed 3 move. All right, and so that feels really bad. I feel like this feels kind of bad to burn burst of speed here.
Well, he is gonna take his Force Lightning shot for 3. So it's gonna take 3 off, and he's gonna get to make a speed 2 move. He's got to be careful not to put it in scoring though. That's in scoring. Oh, he's gonna bubble wrap Dooku. Okay. Oh no,
yeah,
he can't even.
Dooku's not gonna be in range here. In melee.
I thought when he started to move these guys, he was going to move them closer to the Magnus. But I guess
he's using the force push to trigger the standby on the Magna, so he's gonna charge them.
Oh, okay. And it all makes sense. This is why when I stream good players, I give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's hard when you're talking about all the theoretical options and things that you can do to get every move.
Mm-hmm. And now these Magnus are protected from the spider shot. And do you think that Bobbette's just like forgetting to pop the standby after the force push? Like at this point, he should have just.
Well, so Maul is still in range to do a move. Your ads are getting wild here. Is still in range to do a move force push of the Magna. So the standby still can get popped. And they are charging, so he's going to try and kill the activation.
Strolly, whatever you just posted, I accidentally deleted because I was trying to delete the porn. Sorry, brother.
Oh, and the B1 survives. No, he doesn't. He only had 3 wounds left. I lied.
All right, so activation down.
The other dangerous part here is, depending on where Bobbette coheres these MagnaGuard from the force push here, he could potentially also get a shot with his own Magna into them.
All right, so he's going to force push them around the other side.
Yeah.
The Magna Heavy is the furthest one out. Yes, really, that was a really great play. And just one of those that it proves, as Mike said, it's really hard to talk about Legion. Like, we have to look and see all the theoretical things, and there's so many decision trees. That's why there's never been a perfect game of Legion. There never will be. It's impossible to say who's good or what's good half the time because there's so many decision points. You don't even know where the mistake is, if there's a mistake at all.
Right. And sometimes you see a mistake that the other person doesn't. So now all of a sudden the move that could have been punished doesn't get punished. And then all of a sudden you roll like one extra crit. And you're like, what just happened here?
Oh, okay. So now he choked the leader and he's force pushing Dooku, it looks like. I guess out of Guardian range.
But his ion shot is a range 2-4, I believe.
Do you think he's forgetting that?
So he's going to be in range of the Magna to get a full shot. So he might be pushing him out of Guardian range for that, but he looks like he did forget.
Yeah, standby push, really good. Really great when you don't screw it up.
Yeah, I think he just remembered that the gun is range 2-4.
I'm
not sure. Perplexed, so I'm going to wait and see what happens.
I'm not sure what's happening. It seems like he's getting a lot of liberty to see where things could potentially move to. Oh, he's cohering to take out the heavy. So pops the standby, and then the spider droid only needs to do 2 damage to remove the heavy, and then the RPS is gone.
And he did put the Magna out of. Oh, he's triggering line of sight to shoot Dooku in the open.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he took that shot. Yeah, Jedi OP, absolutely.
So what he ended up doing was pushing the Magna into line of sight of the DSD so that the DSD can trigger their standby. The standby doesn't read that you have to shoot the unit you see, so he's going to trigger that to shoot Dooku himself.
Yeah, I'm just surprised he would do that when he has the observation tokens, and he could easily have done 4 wounds to the Magnus.
And Dooku's not even going to take a wound here.
And the DSD takes a wound. You truly hate to see it.
Yeah, he did put the Magna out of line of sight of Dooku. That is true, but it didn't come into play.
But does it really matter for next turn? Or again, I just don't like the decision to shoot the Dooku.
I don't either, personally. I'm not sure what his plan was there.
Like, you could have taken out 2 Magnas and put an ion on them with 7 rerolls.
So I'm assuming that what he was trying to do was set up so that he could potentially chip like 1 to 2 more wounds through on Dooku via the DSD and his own Magna, and then next turn drop Maul's 1 pip. Duel the Fates. But that obviously did not happen here now that Dooku doesn't take any wounds from the DSD, so we'll see what he does with the Magna.
But does
Fisher,
Dooku? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was to say, Fisher, I think I agree with you that the Magna are going to shoot the Magna to try and take that RPS off.
Yeah, and I guess like that's a fine, that's a fine play for sure. That's good cleanup. Magnets are just so good. I would want them off the table. Like Snider's list gets a lot less scary with one Magna down.
That it does.
Jeez, these porns.
All right, Magna moving into range 2 of Dooku here. May have to make a line of sight call here. Nah, he's got the corner of that silhouette. Oh, they're just spamming.
I know when I put hide the user. I put user in timeout.
All right, it's a big shot here.
Yeah, massive shot.
Oh, that is a huge shot. That's going to be 6 into Dooku.
With no dodge. 7 into Dooku. He rolled all 9.
Oh, he rolled 9. I just
And
couldn't do
he
math.
rolls 6 out of 7. What a god. Are you a god?
Dooku is. My Magna yesterday were not.
When when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes, Dooku.
So
Wow,
we'll get 6 more wood.
that was a wild and exciting shot.
So they're going to move up, heal the wound off of the DSD here, this purple squad, and it looks like we're going to take 6 more white dice into Dooku. Crucially, this is also going to put him at 4 suppression tokens.
Yep.
So going into next turn, if he doesn't get any of the rallies off, he is only going to have 1 action, and he is immobilized. Well, we asked for dice to start getting thrown, and they definitely did.
They did. I mean, those were crazy shots into Dooku. And now it's just 1.
This would be insulting if this is where he takes another wound.
Of
And
course.
it is.
Of course.
What is it, a 44-point naked B1? Actually, it's 50 now with that PK series.
What'd they type in the chat?
Bio break in between rounds.
Oh, they're doing one every round. That's 3 for 3.
Oh, really? Okay.
I got no problem with it. I am going to
I was about to say, I think I will join them to get some whiskey.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a snack. I'm gonna grab something to drink. And yeah, all right, see you in a bit.
Yeah. Leave them with the sultry tones of silence. All right, looks like the players have returned, and we have Duel of the Fates and Fear, Surprise, Intimidation. So Dooku, with his cunning, will get the option to go first. I'm curious to see what Dooku does, though. Potentially only has 1 action here, and as chat has rightly pointed out, cannot kill Maul here. It just physically doesn't have enough dice. It will trigger Maul's ability to move, or to get his 3rd action. And with the dodge on Maul's side, it will be incredibly difficult to do a large number of wounds to him, even with Makashi. Yeah, sorry, you are correct. I think Dooku is under a massive amount of pressure here. He really can't get away, and he's going to get shot a number of times this turn. And now that he's down to half health and out of his dodge generation cards, it's going to be hard to keep him around. He's going to have to make sure that he trades Dooku for a good unit here. And with the amount of wounds he has inflicted to Bobbette so far and killing an activation, trading Dooku for potentially like 4 wounds on Maul isn't exactly the worst thing in the world. We'll see what happens. I think it's very clear that he does have to go first with Dooku. See how many actions he gets. All right, he does rally off 2 suppression, so he will get 2 actions. That is enormous. I'm still very curious by the burst of speed play last turn. Or very curious about. Luckily the teacher isn't here to correct me.
Oh no, did you say something stupid?
Oh, I did.
Nice.
Too much proper 12. So we have had 2 1-pips dropped here. We do have Duel to Fate and FSI. Dooku rallies off 2 suppressions, so he does have 2 actions for his play here.
He's going after Maul.
We're not sure yet. We've had the first move. He's moving in Maul's direction for sure. Chat and I were talking. He's got some plays that he can make here. But he can't actually kill Maul, so if Dooku's going to die this turn, he's going to have to trade him well.
He can't kill Maul?
No, because Dooku only has 5 dice. So physically, he can't kill Maul with Dooku here.
With Versatile, doesn't he get to use both in each thing?
So he does, but his lightning's range is 1 to 2. It is not eligible to be used in melee. So even though it's versatile and can be used out of it, he still can't attack anybody that's at range 2.
Gotcha.
Or, I'm sorry, that's at range in melee.
Gotcha. He'll also be turning Maul on here.
Mm-hmm. I thought the standby might be a nice play here, but he does not do that. Maul's going to dodge here. Oh, looks like this is into the MagnaGuard. Be a versatile. Right. I know what my colors do. He also does choke the RPS on the scatter. It's a nice play.
So now he's swinging at Maul.
Now he's going to swing at Maul. Full bow to 5, so he'll do 4 after the dodge. I'd imagine he's going to activate Makashi here. Oh, and Maul's going to take 4. Whoever said that in chat, this is entirely your fault that he was going to go 1 for 7.
And then what? His second action's just dodge?
That's what it looks like. That's a huge swing right there.
That's wild. If he double moves, does he get to Relentless twice?
He does not. So he can still only attack once per turn.
Oh, so Yoda's better?
In that regard, yes. His 1-pip doesn't have the ceiling that like Son of Skywalker or Yoda's 1-pip does.
Right.
Or any of Yoda's turns have.
All right, so now Maul. Is Maul safe?
I don't think Maul is
safe. He can be charged.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those that don't know, Mike likes to keep a running tally of all the reasons not to have kids. I'm going to give you a big one.
All right, this might put me in the 4 digits.
No, this is the opposite direction. I'm taking one out. be 998.
Oh, you're really gonna have to convince me here.
There is always an overabundance of fucking candy, ice cream, cupcakes, zebra cakes, snacks. Just my house is filled with it at all times. It's just overflowing. I never run out of something ridiculously sugary to eat.
So that is a good point. However, my house is also like that, and there's no little gremlins to take them from me. So when I want to eat them, they're always there.
I think if a single young man such as yourself had as much like sweets in their house as a guy with 2 kids, it could be problematic.
I would probably have diabetes already. Yes.
You definitely wouldn't weigh the 115 pounds you weigh, so.
Whoa, now, sir. All right, so we've got a Magna pool here from Bobbette, deflecting from my crippling insecurities about my weight gain. We'll see what happens. This is a nice charge play here because it is going to keep Maul safe from the charge.
Mm-hmm.
And Snider did opt to retinue aim his purple MagnaGuard here, so they are going to take the full brunt of the 8 dice from Bobbette without any way of mitigating the hits coming in, outside of just rolling dice.
All right.
All right, I guess 5.
5, yep.
That is perfectly average. If only one of those surges was a crit, it would actually be the die facings.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to block 3. He's going to lose another guy.
Really negating the effectiveness of this Magna squad now.
Yeah, Maul's in range to choke another one, so it'll only do half damage on it, but it's still there. Yeah, Dunkaroos are great. I'm eating like a candy. Oh, they do
I haven't had a Dunkaroo since grade school. That's been.
Oh man, you gotta get adult Dunkaroos. It's like cannoli chips. They come with like the cannoli dip.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's really good. I wasn't gonna drink whiskey tonight, but I poured some for you.
Florf makes a good point. Snider does have tenacity on his MagnaGuard.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately for Bobbette, he was not able to fit into the fray on his own, so they are not going to have the surge for defense when Sniders do activate. I have a feeling he's going to try to eliminate this B1 squad. Yeah.
It's a lot to put them out. I know they're not in the open, but they have 2 DSD shots that can fire right at him with nothing else to shoot. Well, that's a dead B1 squad if I ever saw one.
Yeah, Bobbette now down 2 activations.
Yeah. Actually, I gotta update the stream. I forgot. Let's turn those A's into X's.
I was curious what they were for.
Those are acties.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Took me a while to find a good font that let them stand out.
Speaking of standing out, I do want to give a huge shout out to all the coverage that you've done for this season so far.
Oh, I mean, thanks. I don't feel like I've done that much. I just did it begrudgingly.
You're definitely in the top quadrant of streamers here, so I do appreciate you picking up most of the games here and covering our semifinals tonight.
I certainly didn't want to, but no one else did.
See, you helped me out because I was going to try to do it solo otherwise.
Oh my God.
I appreciate the banter because that would have been pretty miserable.
Well, me too. I do too. Yeah, I would either grind TFT or get into Legion game myself because it's I don't. I've kind of had the itch to play after playing my ladder match the other night.
Yeah, once you have a good game, you kind of figure out how a list starts to work. It just gets so much better to play.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I want to do this. I want to try this. I want to like not mess up this thing that I messed up.
Right. I should have done this better. Now I know this combination.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we've got some observe and a standby from the dark droids here, the probes, onto Dooku.
Man, those Dark Droids just doing work in the back.
Mm-hmm. This is actually a really nice play as well because Maul is going to be able to use those observation tokens to attack Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
So plus his tenacity and his he'll be able. I assume what he's going to do is recover, attack, and then see what happens. I'd expect like a recover attack move. And the score is indeed 2-1 Snider,
Mm-hmm.
as we so rightly guessed.
Oh yeah, I can put
An
that
hour,
in too.
90 minutes ago.
What was I gonna ask? Who did Dooku force push? He force pushed Maul, right?
He force pushed Maul, yes. It was a move, force push, and then attack. Oh, the DSD going for the B1s in the back there.
Okay, okay. Interesting.
Good dice to miss on. Does get a boat of 5.
Yep. Bringing it down to 3. Takes
I'll
2.
take 2 and an ion.
Yeah, not amazing.
It's not the shot I expected, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be easier to kill the B1s.
I also, yeah, he may have also tried to ion that B1 squad so that they couldn't double move into his own Magna here. Because I'm not sure he wants his Magna tied down by like a naked B1 squad. That feels like a bad trade when you only have the one set of the MagnaGuards.
Type that wrong. Where'd it go? Properties.
Like these purple MagnaGuard will activate. Maul gets a second surge from Into the Fray, so that'll help with some defensiveness and potentially even attacking when he does get to roll these dice. Looks like they'll take a second aim token and with their tenacity attempt to hit these guards back.
Yep, and that's why it's there.
2 aims available. He's going to get a chance to get the full boat of 5. He does.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobbette kind of being let down by his red dice at the moment.
Red dice, am I right?
Yeah, he's put himself in some situations where he's needed to rely on them, unfortunately, and they have not showed up.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's an unfortunate roll right there.
Yep, down to just one model on that Magna squad.
RPS is down. No tenacity. No Into the Fray. It's not in a great spot.
It's basically just tying up those Magnas for one more turn, and then that's gonna be it. We're on turn 3.
There is another repair droid charge left, so I'm imagining that his purple number 5 B1 squad is probably going to double move to try and heal one of the Magna back. It feels like a good use of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. Oh my god, my freaking cat. I'll BRB.
Quick PHQ uplink squad for Bobbette here. Definitely going to take a shot into the Magna and heavy cover with a dodge. Basically hoping for some crits. Does not get that. And recover for the other action to get his HQ uplink back. Pretty standard stuff from the home capping B1 squad. And earlier in the game, I did talk about Bobbette having the advantage of kind of controlling the tempo and the pacing of the game. And I think that has flip-flopped at this moment. And Snider feels like he's kind of in control about when things are activating. That could be a huge swing depending on what happens with the Maul Dooku engagement here. But if his defense dice for Dooku decide to show up this turn, he's definitely controlled the pacing and the tempo of the last, I'd say, like 90 minutes of play.
The TLDR, Andrew, on what you've missed is we're in turn 3 of intercept. It's 2-1 red. Maul and Dooku are engaged. Maul took 4. He blanked out on 4 dice. Hasn't gone yet. Bobbette is down 3 Magnas to Snider's 2. And Bobbette's down 2 activations.
Yeah, one of the things I mentioned while you were gone is I talked earlier that the pacing was kind of being controlled by Bobbette, and that feels like it's kind of flipped.
Yeah, absolutely. Though we're still halfway through the game, and Snider only has 36 minutes left.
That is true. He doesn't have a lot of time to think left.
All right, so here's the shot that we kind of expected: Magnus against the DSTs firing into the Magnas.
Yeah, they're just going to roll 2 after cover and dodge. Don't think they have a search. Don't see one. Doesn't matter. Crucially gets that ion token down. Which is nice because that does leave them out of charge range of every unit on Bobbette's side.
Mm-hmm. And we might see Maul actually choke that squad. I'm not sure if he's in range 1 right now. It looks like it's close, but maybe not.
I think he's outside at the moment, and unfortunately, he's definitely outside of the Magna with the wound. So all he would do is put another wound on one of the other models. It wouldn't actually reduce their dice.
He could push to get closer if he wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Maul is going to do a recover attack and then see what happens. So if it does turn out that he kills Dooku, I'd imagine he goes up towards that Magna to kind of engage them. And he'll have choke available because of the recover.
What's he recovering for?
So as of this point, I don't think he has push or choke available.
Oh, he just didn't untap. He just didn't tap them.
Yeah, I don't think he turned his cards.
Gotcha. I always forget that Maul's recover is his master of the Force.
Mm-hmm. And he does have disengage this turn. So if he does, even if he doesn't kill Dooku and he leaves him on like 1 wound, he doesn't need to burn force push to get out of there. The problem I'm starting to see is I'm not sure that Bobbette is going to have enough bodies to score the objective.
Yeah, well, being down 2 X, I mean, when you face DSDs, it's like you're either going to shoot them or you're going to ignore them. And he hasn't shot them at all yet, right? So he's just worried about the objective scoring. And Snider feels that if he takes out the B1 units and this Magna unit, then he's going to be able to win the game by putting all of these B1s in the center in turn 6.
And I think they have their clocks backwards at the moment. We'll see after this activation if they realized it, but Snider just activated on Bobbette's turn. And now Bobbette is activating on Snider's turn. So if they don't correct it after this activation, I'll step in to fix that.
Yeah, but even then, it's probably not even just by activation, right? Like, it's not like they know how much time.
Yeah, it's definitely not even. Like, Snider definitely will take a little bit longer on that activation than Bobbette does here. And Snider stays on the clock, so they did realize.
Okay.
B1's into... What's the suppression roll? Is a suppression roll.
Okay. Did they have 3 suppression?
And it's a roll by Bobbette. I think they forgot to roll for the Magnus suppression after they got force lightninged by Dooku's FSI.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we see moving towards the back line. It looks like Snyder's going to try and make a play on the back objective.
Yeah, we just talked about Bobbette being a little bit light on bodies, and if he has to commit 2 activations to hold his backline, that's going to be disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Maul's going to have to do a lot of work in the next 2 turns here,
Yeah, well on 2 wounds.
stating the obvious. Luckily, Bobbette does have his medic droid, but that medic is really far away and has lost 4 models already.
Yeah, he's not anywhere near Maul.
Here comes the repair droid. So we'll definitely see a move repair on the Magna.
Yeah, that's big.
It might take a standby, but they're going to shoot the Magna. That also works.
Yeah, I think making sure you take the shots at this point when you're this far down is good.
Just managing the suppress, though.
Yep, 3 suppression though.
Too bad they're droid troopers. Brings back the RPS.
And that's its 2nd wound. I think he's probably regretting healing the DSD.
I think he is at this point. I don't think he expected to have to get so aggro with his melee units and then have both of them kind of blank out.
Yeah, I mean, he must not have realized that no one's shooting it. It was just a deflect wound, Or maybe
Wow,
he
that's
just wanted
great.
Yeah, I mean these
Sorry.
the white dice have been the white attack dice have been insane on both sides this game.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of paint.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Bobbette is hoping that Maul's white dice continue that trend.
Right. And he's got the 3 observation tokens, so he's got a little bit of play to avoid having to take that aim action. But the less he has to do, the better.
Yeah, let's see
All
what
right,
he does.
here comes the attack. Such a good dice pool.
It's really bonkers. Oh, he did
No
take the
Jedi
aim.
Hunter on this turn.
Oh, does he get a name from his card?
He does not. So he decided to take the aim action.
Just casual 9.
Oh, he doesn't have any surges.
Yeah,
Does he? He does have 2.
Yep.
Okay. He's going to spend them both. That is a dead Dooku. Huge swing there.
How many did Dooku have? Dooku had 3?
He had 3. Maul
Yeah.
with 1 action remaining. Looks like he's going to push these guys into him.
Yeah, so probably recovered. Doesn't have an action, right?
Right, so thinking like recover, aim, attack.
Probably recovered last.
I think so.
I gotta admit, I forgot that he had to do so few wounds on Dooku. I thought that the healings had happened, and I guess the medical droid went. Yeah, the medical droid healed, so he was on 2. Oh, and Dooku didn't have a surge, so
He must have only had 1 surge from defense.
oh, there are 2 surges there. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 2 surges. Yeah, Bobby Thomas, no Jedi Hunter this turn, but he did have 2 surges available from Into the Fray. But it looks like he may not have spent them because the surge tokens are still there.
Who, Maul?
Yeah.
How many surges did he roll?
Oh, sorry, that is a Special Forces token. My apologies. He rolled 2 surges, and it looks like he spent 2, but there were 2 sitting next to his unit card. I didn't realize they were the MagnaGuard number 10.
Gotcha.
So by one, I guess, qualm about Legion is it gets a little messy with tokens at times, and if you're not hearing people talk about what they're doing, it can be a little bit hard to guess what they're for.
It's because it's a Duel of the Fates turn. Florf.
Oh, so he couldn't even spend the surge to begin with. It's a green token. So
There you
Dooku
go.
actually took 5 that turn.
Yeah, I forgot that it was surges too.
Yeah, me too.
floor writing all these things down. Taking notes, baby.
This way he can win Invader League with clones this year and Maul next season.
Just do it all.
Everyone expects him to play 13x.
Duel of the Fates. All right, so now Snider's down an act, an important one.
And this is where Maul's going to have a huge advantage, like you talked about earlier, with 3 1-pips, because Snider's going to have to be forced to think, do I burn my last remaining 1-pip here and risk a roll-off? Or do I try to play something else to get dodges out there? Because I think he might go something like Roger Roger to get dodges on the MagnaGuard, knowing that they're immune to melee pierce when Maul's attacking them, and just kind of rely on some of those red saves to hold up.
This might be the turn.
Look, aren't you playing? You haven't played Imperials for anything yet?
Also, I don't know if Isbodicus is being cheeky, but catering to the stream is not what makes someone a good player. I would like to see. So now these things are tapped. They were never tapped earlier, but
Yeah, players experienced on being on stream will definitely tap their cards and indicate a little bit more often.
Yeah,
I assume is the intention.
I don't begrudge anyone for catering to the stream if it's not in their normal thing to do so.
Yeah, if you're not used to it, don't change your style of play to fit that.
Right.
It's a recipe for disaster. All right, so Snider has definitely gained the ground that he needed to make. Bobbette feels like he's pretty pinned back in his deployment at this point, and is running out of bodies that he can safely throw forward. And that is a huge shot into these MagnaGuards down below.
Yeah, that's massive.
4 crits. And they are dead. Or
they're on 1.
1 wound, right?
Yep. They're on 1 wound.
Triple DTs for New Orleans.
Yes,
that sounds like a fun time.
Well, you corrected yourself while I was asking my question, but yes, or making my statement. But yes, good catch is. Yeah, so that was a huge swing, but like now at this point in the game, it's like, is that a good trade for Snider to give up his? I mean, I don't think he wanted to give up his Dooku, but he certainly affected the positioning of Bobbette.
If Snider wins the roll off next turn, I think it's a good trade.
Because he's going to attack with these Magnas and probably kill Maul.
I think so. He's got 5 dice. Maul's out of dodge cards. He's going to get a surge from Into the Fray. But he's only got to do 2 wounds.
No PK droid on Snider's side, so he can't bring back a Magna if Maul kills these guys, chokes this one. Yeah, I don't know all the decisions that Maul could do, but I guess Maul would probably jump into like melee with some B1s.
Probably. I think that's a better chance to live. Yeah. Obvious statement of the century right there.
Live and then just cut into as many B1s as he can over the last 2 turns.
Right. Try to leverage his force push to be able to get that center point. He's going to be in a really interesting point over the next turn, though, because how much does he want to commit to scoring turn 4? Because if he doesn't score turn 4, he definitely needs to get up on points and sweep Snider through his home point in the middle for 6. And yes, he's killed Dooku, but he's going to lose a Magna. He's down 2 B1 activations. I'm not sure he's going to be able to win on points there.
These snipers are going to be really annoying because they're going to capture the back point, and it's going to be a lot of the wounds to chew through in the middle point with all the B1s.
Yep, and they're probably going to kill this MagnaGuard here.
I think Maul will be able to hide in one of the many B1s that are surrounding the center point. Yeah, so let me see what they can see. Yep, so they only have to deal 1.
He's going to have him in the open because he's touching the terrain. No Pierce available because he doesn't have an aim token, no offensive push, but the X's are used to that. It'll be 2 hits. Doesn't even get any paint.
Red
That's
dice,
rough.
am I right?
Yeah. I feel for Bobbette a little bit, not just because he's a team league teammate for me. But that's rough. That's gonna be really hard to make up the points differential now.
Yeah. And it's funny, a lot of people say that the game's decided after turn 0, and after turn 0, I think we were leaning that Bobbette had the advantage, and it's clearly swung the other way right now.
I tend to agree.
I'm not sure. I don't want to presume anything at all, but if I was guessing what went wrong on Bobbette's side through the first 3 turns is that the DSDs have not been leveraged. Like, they have not done the damage that they're brought to do against the droid army.
Now, if you look on Snider's side of the table, there's not a lot of wounds dealt.
Yeah. I feel like those things should eat the Magnas, and they did not. So Snider lost the roll, and Bobbette and Maul win priority on the 1-pip mechanized incursion versus ambush.
That's a huge win here for Bobbette. Like I mentioned last turn, I think Snider kind of can ice this with the chance to activate first, but now that he doesn't, we'll see what he does. I'm not sure Bobbette's actually going to go first with Maul here.
Yeah, why do you think he went with mechanized instead of at last? You just think...
So I think he went with mechanized knowing that he's going to be able to set this up so that he's got two tokens in his bag. He's got improvised orders, so Maul can go if he wants to. But if he loses the roll off and Maul gets killed by those Magna, he's not stuck without any order tokens.
Okay, that makes sense.
This way, he's still got total control and he's not tied to the dangerously wounded character card.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm also not sure. So, like, let's also say that Maul goes first and does something. He's also got to make sure that he's got an ability to, like, play cards for the future. So even if he wins the roll-off with this card here and decides to go with Maul first, if Maul somehow survives this turn, he's got control over his army as well as the ability to run Maul away from them and not have to rely on a comms relay to get him the 1-pip for mechanized here.
Mm-hmm.
See what he does. Snider promoting. Oh, wow. I think we just had a time rewind.
Oof. You hate to see it. Time rewinds in general not great for TTS.
No, tends to get kind of wacky.
Did they type anything in the chat?
Nah, I just asked him. Find out here.
Because now
I wonder if they deleted an order token.
I killed a rock.
Oh. Fair enough.
And the clocks are reset, though.
Are they?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, you should be able to just rewind the stream because you're watching it, right?
Yes, that is correct. Let me rewind the stream. Now, here's the fun part. Do we ever scan over the clocks?
They're on the dice box.
Oh, they are, yes.
If you want to read it, I'll type it.
So for blue player, we have 41:26.
Okay.
And for red player, we have 30:13. Good catch. Thank you.
Just catching up on the chat. I guess Bobbette 1 needed to buy more time for those DSTs to push through pressure while being very daunting for Snyder's close range army to get into. Master maybe he felt too pressured by Snyder scoring points early. Yeah, maybe. I just think you needed to get those spider droids like up there and shooting those. Like they passed on the Magnas several times.
And they did shoot at Dooku and...
It's a big advantage for Snider.
What are we on turn 4 here?
On turn 4, and
Yeah, Snyder's down 15 minutes. 30 minutes is still a lot of time to play with.
it is,
but
and I would
he
doubt
gets
that
some
these
extra thinking time.
I doubt that these guys would want it to come down to clocks.
Yeah, neither of these guys are malicious players, so I don't see a problem here. We're going to finish clockless.
Yeah.
All right, 2 crits into that Magna right off the bat. That's a good start. I say that for you.
There it is. Surprised
I've
it
been
took
waiting
us. Surprised it
I've
took
been
us
waiting
this
for a
long.
good time.
For people watching, I fucking hate it when people say in Star Wars Legion, "That's a good start" after their dice roll. Like, just fucking die. Don't say that. It's annoying me. Is it though? Is it?
It is not.
Red dice, am I right? Well, that whiskey went down too quickly.
Yeah, I need to find some more. Are you an Irish fan by any chance?
I drink rye almost
Okay.
exclusively.
Okay.
What's your Irish whiskey of choice? I mean, I did spend most of my 20s drinking Jameson.
I mean, I still drink a good bit of Jameson, but I do. Conor McGregor's proper number 12 is actually pretty solid.
Nice.
It's a little bit smoother, has a little more sweetness to the aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
So you can drink bottles of it at a time. Oh, only 2 hits going in the mall
Only 2
here.
to maul.
And he blanks them
that's
both.
all he
That's so
needed?
rough.
Wow. Okay. Well,
That is a dead mall.
Maul's now dead. That feels bad. Red dice, am I right?
Yeah.
Chi-chi.
And we do have a concession here.
Oh, that feels really, really bad.
All right, so Snider is going to advance to the Invader League finals for the 2nd consecutive season.
Yeah, Snyder's good.
So we've got Snider v. Florf for the final. I think Florf's going to win that, but we'll see. Turns out ranged Pierce kind of eats MagnaGuard, and Florf's got a lot of that. But that's actually really rough for the I'll say the spectacle of the game here. Maul going 0 for 6, and the MagnaGuard for Bobbette not doing too much better there.
I'll tell you though, the number of times I've seen Maul go 0 for 6 is not limited to just a handful. It's absurd.
It's why I don't play him anymore. Do we want to do a post-game interview?
Yeah, I would love to. I'll let you
Sure.
lead it, but let's go in.
Good.
Hey guys,
sorry,
GG's. That was
Cat
Maul
v. Cat
0 for
dream is
6. Sorry, go ahead.
The Cats v Cats dream is dead.
I'm sorry, man. Congrats, Snyder.
Thank you. Wow.
I was just saying that unfortunately it takes away from some of the spectacle of the Sith v Sith.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my goal was to get my Magna punching on Dooku or punching on Maul and get Dooku freed up to go deal with other stuff, and that's not what happened. But the dice had my back.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of our big questions when you burst of speeded Dooku over the stone pillar on, I believe, turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We saw you doing some pre-measuring for like a second speed 3 move. What was going through your head at that time? Like when you started that activation, what were you trying to do?
I thought I was going to get Dooku here and pull a B1 into him and be more than range 3 from Maul, so not force pushable, which then lets me FSI in his backfield, and basically Dooku plus the Magna that's pushing on this flank are going to take his backline. And I should have enough B1 bodies to fall back and hold my backline. Basically, it would be Dooku, a Magna, and maybe a B1 pushing to take his back, and then just hold mine and take the 2 edges and let him have the center with his Maul and his Magna. And
you just couldn't get that far because of the barricade?
Yep. Yeah, I had I don't know if you caught me spawning range bands on Dooku like the whole turn, but I
Mhm.
kept
Yes.
like trying to eyeball it. Like, I think I make it. I think I get over it. Oh yeah, pretty sure I make it. And then I committed to the first move, and I'm like, I don't fucking make it. Oh no.
I think I said, do you, I said, do you think this is I immediately regret this decision move that we're in right now? Because that's what it felt like
Yes.
when you went back and you were like moving the Magnus and stuff, and you figured it out, and we loved your move once you made it, but it was sort of like fun watching you try and figure it out in real time, and that's like where that clock disparity came.
That was plan like E or F. I was like, okay, so now what else can I do? Okay, maybe I can swing around and pull Maul into the magnet. No, okay, I can't get there.
Anyone who's played a
Yeah.
Force user has been through that mid game, been like, yeah, I'm just gonna spend a half an hour trying to figure this out.
Yeah. All
Especially
right.
when you jump over something and you're like, I don't reach. Uh-oh.
Now what?
And now I'm speed 1 for the next turn.
Yeah, I wasn't too bothered about the speed one. He committed to the center too, so I goes, yeah, I'll be fine. With Maul coming into range 1 of Dooku, that means that Dooku is going to be able to respond on the subsequent turn with a force push first and then walk into Maul. So, oh man.
At the beginning of the game, we were saying we thought that trading Maul for Dooku would probably be good for you, Bobbette. What was obviously that didn't come to fruition. There were a lot more factors in play there.
My first mistake was just where I put my spider droids. I needed to put them to block off this way in, so I needed to be over here.
Or even just angled, right?
Yeah,
like even if they were just rotated.
Angled would have helped, but over here would have been prime because then you couldn't
Yes.
even hide back there at all.
Yes,
And I
yes.
didn't see that until you did your first moves. I didn't expect that to be so blocking. I think for fighting, Maul needed to do more than Dooku did. Because like I was good at range, but as soon as we engaged, Maul needed to kick ass. And because of where I put the spider droids, I couldn't stop him from engaging. And so but I poked Dooku down, and that I had good success with that. But I needed to either have Maul do something or keep him back farther, and I didn't do either.
Yeah, and I screwed up turn 1. I thought I was moving an E5S unit, and then I looked and it was the EV unit. And
Yeah,
so
we were
then...
wondering how it
We were
ended up down
talking about
there.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a different unit.
Yeah.
And then final question, if you don't mind me asking, the observation tokens that went onto the Magna on turn 2, was the original intention to do like a move, force push, force choke, and then trigger a standby with the DSD to try and ionize them in the middle here?
Yeah, well,
Like
my
kind of in
plan-
the open?
So I had 2 acts left after he went. So my plan was I was gonna just destroy that Magna squad. If he didn't move Dooku out, I was gonna pull the Magnas around, shoot them with the DSD, and then my Magnas here would be able to do a ton of damage to them, and they would have been open shots for both.
Right.
So that was my plan with that. And then Dooku came out, and I was like, okay, I have to kill Dooku because otherwise I'm in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And maybe I should have. No, but then he moved. What he did to get the Magna to go over there means I couldn't even do that anyway.
Right, yeah. Me triggering that standby to pull the Magna back to the side and near Dooku, in line of sight of Dooku was big.
I didn't see him pushing Dooku forward that turn. I thought Dooku was going to be hidden, and he was just going to take the points. I didn't expect Dooku to come forward. I should have put the observation on Dooku. Just to stop
I mean, Dooku might not have gone forward if you hadn't forward cohered both B1s. Like bringing the B1s forward meant that Dooku had plays on your like squishy backline and could bring them into the meat grinder.
Yeah, I just needed to start. I got too aggressive with them. But I did need to start weakening, like getting these guys some injuries, because otherwise they were going to hurt me, and I needed to do it at range.
Yep.
I think if Maul didn't blow chunks of his defensive saves, I would have had a chance.
Yeah, that 0 for 6 is rough, man.
Especially all surges. He should have 2 wounds right now.
That's
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe 3 because because Dooku had Pierce against him.
Yeah, you're right, 3. And well, I fucked up with this.
And then
I blocked him, so I couldn't even go heal. So yeah, that should have been able to heal, and then it would have been, that was a bad play right there. It actually would have lived with this, and I could have maybe healed the second one on him, or who knows what.
Yep. Not a perfect game, but a fun one.
At least there was action.
Yeah, it got wild. It got real wild, real fast. It was it was fun to cast. So we appreciate you letting us watch it.
Yeah, thanks for casting.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.